ready.
Let's keep it rolling. Are we back?
I'm ready. Let's roll.
Back. Sentimental value. Let me just say this. Daddy likey. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I also liked Worst Person in the World, even though I had a major problem with it, and I thought that... Has anyone seen that movie?
Yeah.
John has.
Okay, that's the previous
John's seen it.
Trier movie. This is Joaquin or something.
Joaquin
Trier.
Joaquin Trier. There's no way his name's Joaquin, right?
It's probably Joaquin.
It must be like, Joaquin.
Joaquin.
Anyway, Worst Person in the World. Worst Person in the World. The problem with that movie was she actually was the worst person in the world. But anyway, sentimental value I thought was actually good. I enjoyed watching it. I thought it had some heavy-handed parts that were not good. I think that the major, not structural mistake, but like an easy to point to thing was when their faces are all merging together.
I do.
That is
true.
Basically,
that part,
it's like, listen, like, it's great because that is a visual representation of what the whole movie is, but you don't need to show that picture. That makes it feel so cheap. Versus like,
isn't it?
You need to get me to. I mean, you're already doing a fairly good job of me conjuring that image in my own head. In which case, that's cosmically excellent. But as soon as you show it to me, you're a fucking idiot. And so that was pretty stupid. But anyway, I liked the movie. I thought it was cool. It didn't quite go as like. I think the major thing is compared to all these other movies, and not including Marty's just kind of on a whole different thing. It felt like the first one that was like actually really sharp and actually made by someone who was really thinking about what was going on, and it was, just really sharp is kind of the way I was thinking about it, and so that felt great. I don't know if it was as good as it could have been. I think that you could feel a lot more talent than ended up like ultimately landing, but I did really like it. And I mean, there are some bad parts, but yeah, it was cool, and I was excited.
Can I want to say one broad thing, and then I won't give a whole thing about my take on the film. I like the film. I agree with Troy's take. It's just that firstly, it accomplishes something that's a really cool little innovation on the whole actor acting in front of the screen. Like the idea that she's crying, she's giving her performance, she's getting invested in what we're watching the tears. Remember when she's doing the read of the screenplay, right? And
Elle Fanning's character, you mean? Or are you saying?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly, Elle Fanning. Yeah, Elle Fanning or whatever. And we are supposed to feel a really serious tension at that moment, I think, because I felt it, and I think this is right, where it's like, this is a good performance, and I feel it, but it's not right, and it's such a subtle thing, and she nails it / the film nails it so perfectly, where it's like that's pretty sick, but whatever, fuck you.
Sorry, I'm looking for what you're talking about.
But it's I think it's it might be that it's that scene.
This is it.
And it was just, it's like, it was kind of over the top, it's kind of beautiful because she's Americans, and being American is like to be a little bit too much, but it also feels pretty good. Like, it doesn't feel bad. It's not bad acting, but it's not right. Something's not right. This is such a nuanced, very specific beat to hit, like incredible to have pulled that off. And I felt all of it in that moment. Yeah. And in retrospect, it was extremely well sutured together with why the film has to go the way it does.
Yeah, that really
so that's sharp and
the film
good,
revolves around that, with like that scene puts you in the position of fully believing the point, right?
Yeah, totally.
Because it gives you a counterpoint to work off of, right?
Yes, yeah.
I was.
God bless Elle.
Can I say one? I think I had one really brief thing to say, and then I want everyone to give their thoughts. Fuck, what was it? It was fucking.
Sorry.
Fucking.
You're gonna say how Elle.
It's hard. Fanny, Ella Fanny. I was gonna say that.
It's unfortunate she does such a great job playing a bad actress.
Oh no! About what you were saying, Troy. This is the running issue. So we say this formal distinction between show, tell, like the formal obsession, and it's not, things aren't right. We have all these larger takes about everything. No, I think it's just an amateurish thing that happens, and it's in a lot of these films, and maybe not all of them, but like there's something just about showing this face is just an amateur's choice, you know?
Yeah, it's sophomore.
It's just not right, and it feels like someone who desperately wants to be there, but they're just not confident enough. And I wrote like some notes about that, but it's like it's kind of like Hamnet, right? It's like, what is this lack of confidence? You've got it. That felt like an amateur's choice in Hamnet to do this like constant cutting to her during the play. What is this? You know, this is someone who's insecure. It's an insecure moment, insecure director. That's all.
In Hamnet, it feels a bit more warranted though, because honestly, they're not really doing a good job of accomplishing. Like, I don't think that in Hamnet, if they just showed the play, they would work like Fanny and Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
They actually, I think, smartly detect that they need to bring in the cheap guns and start showing her face. Whereas this movie, it's like, no, you were doing it. You don't need to do this.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I think I agree.
I mean, just quick note about, very short about Hamnet, is that they cast the most contemporary looking motherfucker of all time to play Hamlet. Like, that dude looks like he makes TikToks, and that was just a mistake. That was just oh God, talk about just shooting yourself in the foot, despite whatever his performance or whatever. But
in the cock.
Yeah, but exactly what Troy said. That's what I meant to say. No, so in sentimental value, what's a funny thing about the faces is that I can see that happening in something like a Bergman film.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Persona.
No, I think
are you fucking kidding me?
It basically happens.
Persona literally does not do this.
Oh, well, in what sense?
I obviously know what you're talking about.
Can you say specifically what you mean?
Because I see it as being formally very similar, but there's a reason why they're different that's outside of the exact instance, right?
World of difference in Persona, not just because the movie's better or whatever, but they're still placed, the faces are placed in a real scenario, right? Like this movie is so grounded at all times. It has a lot of like really high concept stuff going in, and a lot of cuts and edits where you lose track of, wait, is this a movie? Is this real? Is this from this? So it's not like whatever, but in general, it's also grounded. This is out of the blue, pure abstraction, these heads in empty space with editing to merge them all together. Persona, the women's faces, they're in a room. They are actually doing that. They are leaning into each other in a weird way where they're layered, but it's not.
No, I'm talking when it's split frames. Okay, obviously, we don't need to get into all the way breaking down this thing, but obviously Persona is about the form, and it does all this like weird editing things, and where you're like cutting in and out of, you know, you're made aware that it's a film, and then after that happens a bunch of times, then it does a literal split screen of their faces and stuff, and that's what justifies it. And in this film, it doesn't do that, and it's grounded and blah blah blah. Okay, we're past the thing. Okay, we all agree. Okay. I had something else to say, and I don't even remember what it was because we got caught up in that. But anyways, I did like this movie.
There's a lot of really good stuff here.
Okay, I will say that the I mean, talk about a fucking, you know, I mean, just from the opening scene in this film, like just good. The whole opening sequence, and when she gets on stage and the kind of like, and then the fucking like German like techno like comes on when she comes out on stage. I mean, it just such a great like subversion of expectations with like what you are even. Okay, so Jacob hates it.
Jacob fucking hates this shit. Fuck you, John.
But let me just say, I mean, I don't know. It was funny because I watched this right after I watched Train Dreams, like within like an hour of each other today, and. Yeah, I don't know. I just cannot believe some of these movies, like that this movie is in the category of these other films because of just how unbelievably different it is from like, and like what the director's goals and ideas about film even are and what it is and how to do it. And, you know, it's like, obviously this guy, you know, where this guy falls short in any way, it does not have to do with like, you know, I think this film is properly set in like, you know, as being what would normally be like a sophomoric or like junior film, you know, as opposed to these other films was just seem like so far off base, where it's like I feel like this guy, especially after the improvement between The Worst Person in the World and this, it's like I'm excited to see what this guy does for his next film. Like I feel like he has
He's a
something going on.
long-standing oeuvre.
He has
right?
something to
He's
sorry, what?
He's well established. Joaquin Trier or Joaquin.
Yeah, he's pretty well established.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, Worst Person in the World
He's
won
mega.
Palme d'Or before and all this stuff, but
Other than Bombs, Our Man, The Other Munch.
yeah,
Doctor.
but I'm just saying, from
He
Worst
made it.
Person in the World to this, it's like it got more complicated. Everything that was good about that film was present in this, and was put into a more complex thing that I cared about more. And I don't know. I just feel like he actually has something to say, something to do, some point to make that like is worthwhile, and he knows how to do it.
He made a film called I Love Isabelle Huppert,
Okay, we
Yes,
didn't watch that one.
King.
We love
which is
Isabelle Huppert.
crazy. Which is crazy and so awesome, given that he has the piano teacher reference. This guy,
Yeah,
this
that's-
guy's just straight up based. Let's just everyone shut the fuck up. Joaquin Trier is based. All right.
Oh, hold on, you have to
Based-
watch Worst
yeah.
Person in the World before you start going too hard in his
And,
favor.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I wanted to say something else, but I think Jacob has been
Jacob
chomping at the bit.
needs-
So
Well,
Oh,
Jacob's about to drop some cringe on us.
First of all, what playback speed did we watch this at?
You talking to me?
Yeah. Just
me?
that needs to be said at the beginning, and then yeah.
I watched this whole thing at 1x speed.
Humiliation
okay.
ritual.
Take immediately validated.
Yeah, validated.
Yeah, validated.
We love.
Elsmore, you know they're actually making fun of this type of thing, right?
So I can say something else if you don't. So I can
No.
talk. So
I genuinely.
let-
I mean, just
Wait, I thought
I'll
Elsmore
let
was
the
gonna go.
like cheeky things or
I'll let the
whatever. I
dust
actually really
settle.
do want to hear what Jacob feels.
okay.
I want to feel what Jacob feels.
Listen, I'm not asking for everyone to agree with me, okay? I'm just here. I'm just here to tell you
Just
how I
here,
feel.
man.
All right. I just was a little bit annoyed at this movie, okay? And it's entirely for fucked up Jacob reasons and has nothing to do with the actual quality of the movie, okay? Please give me one more artsy movie about an artist who's struggling and they're really grappling with all this really heady artist stuff that no one else really gets, and it's going to be really emotionally intense and it's going to be super serious, and we're not going to have any music, and we're going to freaking linger on their fucking face, okay? And yeah, I, as a civilian, have no idea what the fuck is going through your head, Mr. Director Man, but I know that it's really fucking deep, okay? And oh my god, his daughter gets to play the part at the very end, and then his face, for the 30-second shot of his face where he's staring into the distance, and he finally gets to absolve himself of the sadness and grief that he felt from losing his mom. It's just, oh my god. I'm just annoyed.
True.
You know what? I'm gonna condone this take a little bit, because that did run through my mind while I was watching the flick, and but then I did sort of rebound into thinking to myself, to myself that there's a lot of movies that are like that will do this kind of thing, as we know, but this is the first one that I've seen do it in this kind of way, if that makes sense, right? Because it's always going to be like about making a movie, blah blah blah, right? But the narrative surrounding it all was unique.
A movie about making a movie. Oh my god.
Listen,
Holy
it's
fuck. Oh my god. This is only the 12th one we review. This is only the 12th one we reviewed on this podcast.
the problem is that they
And you're telling me that it's meta at the very end? They shatter the wall between the screen and reality? Oh.
The problem is they keep making really good ones.
Wait, can I?
The problem is you've got
wait.
these filmmakers and they spend huge amounts of their time thinking about this one thing. So then they make a really good movie about it.
I have like an actual
Shot, reverse shot. Shot, reverse shot. Audience is sitting stunned.
No, I actually have.
I'm
I
actually just
have
being
a
way
serious-
too indulgent right now.
No. I do have actually a serious question for you that is not intended in any way as like a gotcha or something, but just as like a way to actually clarify any like real point that you have with this sort of feeling. How do you feel about, in like Shakespeare plays when he does like meta things? Obviously there's so many references in Shakespeare plays, like some of the most famous lines and stuff are about
Or player
Whatever,
struts
all
and frets his
all
hour
the-
upon
all
the
the
stage,
world-
and then is no
All the
more.
world's a stage.
yeah, all the world's a
yeah.
stage, this life is but a walking shadow. I mean, all the, and then
Tempest-
like in
Tempest
Hamlet,
ending?
you have like an internal, performance and all this stuff. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you feel that is the same phenomenon? Like, is that the same impulse that like somebody like this is having? Do you think that this is
mean-
like a parody of that? Do you think that like, where does that have its value for you, etc.?
Like, on a serious note, it's probably unavoidable, right? Because when you have someone executing their craft, it's like, level one take. The thing that they really intimately understand is their craft, so they're going to try to weave it into, whatever they're making it at some point, right? And
Or
like,
level 10 take. Sorry.
and like
Skip
I
9
actually
levels.
did I did enjoy certain parts of this movie, right? And I did actually enjoy the end, okay? Because I was like, okay, it was kind of nice, okay? I'll give him that. It was kind of nice, and I didn't hate it. But I just find myself when watching these films sometimes just like just going like, oh my god, like it's this again, you know what I mean? Like, oh my, yes, okay, you're a director, and yeah, okay, you're making a movie, but your movie's actually about your life, and whatever. Like, all of these just these aspects crop up a lot, and so I'm not saying that I'm not saying this movie's bad, okay? I'm not saying whatever. I'm just saying that I just kind of have this reaction to it sometimes.
I think I can get and resonate with a lot of the sentiment you're expressing in terms of like just I get it. I do get it. In the way that Brody condoned your take, I think I can get behind it to some degree. I didn't feel it while watching the thing, but I think the way I resonate with what you're saying is that it's there is just something like on the nosiness about the way this movie is, and it isn't trying to do much. It isn't trying to give you a new idea about anything at all. It's just trying to show, I mean, so I have something to say after this that'll show why it's more manifold, but it's just, it's just a father and a daughter, and they just happen to be directors and actors and plays, yada yada. It's all intentional, but in some sense, it's like they just happen to be that way. And in terms of like bigger ideas or making something else the subject matter, it just doesn't. It can't do that. It can't afford it at all. It can't even afford it the way Shakespeare can, right? So like maybe there's something there about how Shakespeare's allowed to basically talk about everything in the fucking world, whereas this movie can basically not talk about much more than like one or two things, maybe three things, It can't talk about more than three things well, whereas Shakespeare's allowed to talk about fucking 1 trillion things really fucking well. So something interesting about that. But I want to say that why directors are making movies about making a movie or artists making about art. I think at least for directors making movies about movies, it's really important, and it's obviously not about making a movie. It's about exploring the ways that like identity slippage can help with like communion and like, moving through certain things where like you can't be yourself. Like there's some sort of like rejection about being yourself versus being yourself. There's all this identity play, you know, she can't work with him until she's at like this downtrodden, like fucked up position. Then she reads the play, and then it turns out he knows her better than she does in terms of the suicide attempt, and he had no actual knowledge of that. But like she did attempt suicide, right? So it's like, it's kind of just like it's not, you know, to call it a MacGuffin is kind of to undersell it, but it is a beautiful vehicle for the way, like the passing around of a script and the idea that you need to get someone else to play this role. Like these are all like archetypal ways we negotiate the world in terms of who we interact with and how we use people to stand in for other people and things like that. And it just happens to be that like film is like such a perfect vehicle for that. So I don't know. So in terms of, so it's not about making a film, it's about identity and like reconciliation, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, yada, yada.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying like on just you wanted to finish that?
No, so I guess all I'm saying by that is well, I have one thing about on that point. Then the last thing I'll say is something maybe controversial. I'm not sure. First thing is that maybe you'll respond to is this is only an argument for why it pops up in the minds of filmmakers so often. I don't think it's because, I mean, obviously this is somewhat true, but I don't think it's because this is what they know, so they're going to make a movie about it. Like they know about making movies, so they'll use movies. It's also because like what movie making is facilitates this kind of a film and this kind of a reconciliation story and this kind of an identity slippage and identity metonymy thing. Yeah.
That may be true, right? And I'm just sort of coming at it from an aesthetics perspective, where I just grow kind of tired of this subject matter, and I feel like it's always hard for these directors to sort of restrain themselves once they're allowed to kind of examine their own medium like this, and you get tons of like meta moments and shit that just feel kind of masturbatory. You know what I mean? Because like you can get these same sort of grappling with identity and replacing people, like everything that you said. I mean, one of my favorite films is Le Fils, right? And like it has all the same characteristics where it's like it's a really simple story, but actually it's very complex and has a lot of depth, right? And the main character, he's grappling with the loss of his son, and he sort of takes in this boy to replace his son for a period, but he still has to confront the fact that it's the kid, right, that like is responsible for his son's death. But then you get this moment of grace where he can actually come to accept that, right? And like, so I just think it's just sort of an aesthetic level thing that it's just become like a gripe for me. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you have anything to say about that.
No, I get it. That is a point to be made, to be dealt with, and Troy has his hand up, but I take your point to be identity slipping and metonymy can be done in ways other than film, and you appreciate that, and you're tired of seeing it where it's like, or you're somewhat tired of seeing the artist. Like your counterpoint is that it can be done through other mechanisms than a filmmaker talking about filmmaking, yada, yada, Is that the point? Because I take that point.
Right.
I basically, yeah.
I agree with basically everything being said. I think I have a clarification point that I don't think it's just, I did say earlier that it's like, oh, they know it so well, or they think about it so much, so it's like they're going to make movies about it. I think more so it is they and others think, what is the greatest, most beautiful thing a human being can do in the world? Make a movie. And I agree with that. So like when I get, I agree that if it were like, if it were just some weird material thing where they keep making movies about basketball somehow, it'd be like, why is it always basketball? I think whatever, making art is like the pinnacle of human thought and achievement. So it's like, I'm stoked on it. But then I also will say that I totally agree with your point about Lafise, and that it is a dangerous topic to choose for this exact reason, and they need to really be careful. I think a good example of a very similar thing, I mean, just one of the many examples, but also maybe in particular relatable to this movie, is like Birdman. Like, there's a movie where it's like, this sucks. And to Steven's point, well, Birdman sucks, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not about movies in so much as movies are about a bunch of different things, or making art is about so many different things. And then I lastly want to say that I think that this is a true material take, but in reality, it would be crazy to like realize it's about making movies or something and be like, oh fuck, here we go again. Because you can feel it so quickly that it's like, oh, this is good, right? Whether it's about making movies or it's about some other thing, you can just right in the opening sequence and a bit after that, you're like, oh, okay, this person knows what they're doing. This is legit. This is whatever. Versus watching Birdman, it feels a bit more like, here we go again. Art imitates life, you know? So
Yeah.
just throwing that out there.
I'm on board with that.
Can I say the controversial take then?
Yes.
I don't know if you guys, maybe it's not that controversial. The last scene, right, where we're not when we break for, not when she's outside of,
when she's playing the role.
when she's playing the role, and she's playing the role, right?
Yeah.
I didn't really like the delivery, and I didn't really like how that sandwiched and came full circle. It just didn't land on me. I was watching it. I was like, yeah, that's right, but it doesn't. I don't really care. Something like that. Did you feel that at all?
I think I liked that it was happening, like from the reality perspective, but her actual performance, like watching the scene play out, I think didn't have the sort of culminating, it all comes together moment that like Hamnet thinks it's having at the end of its movie. You know? It thinks it's this ultimate crescendo of everything coming together.
It was too heavily expected. What it needed was like what happens between Elle Fanning's reading of the lines and forget this actress's name, but the main actress's name, her reading of the lines,
Girl one,
is what happens, is what I was wanting to happen. You know what I mean? Between the description and it being realized. And I agree that it didn't necessarily occur that way. That being said, I don't know.
It just needed some more tension.
Okay, maybe so, but there may also be a point here, if we are to just play fully, just give full benefit of the doubt that, maybe you've so fully understood how it's supposed to be, and then you see it, and then the main point is the shot right after the sequence is done, when she closes the door, and then it cuts to her after the door, and it's like, and the thing is, like, you see it, okay, yeah, she is right, but the point is not the full weight and effectiveness of the film, because you already know that. You knew that from when she read the lines that Elle Fanning read, so it's like, why do it again? The whole point is to see her, basically, give her what her father was asking for, and then now see the reconciliation. You know what I mean? That's and it's like, I don't know. So that's just a whatever.
No, you're right.
I don't know. If
I think that is totally correct. And you cannot isolate the scene within the film from the scene just after the shooting has ended. You can't really disconnect the two. They are certainly connected. I don't know. I guess then my broader comment, without even understanding why I felt this way, was like, I didn't love how it ended. I thought it was like fine, and I still liked the movie overall. But I was like I thought it was a good movie, and exceptionally good compared to all the others. But I was like,
to just really stick you in the heart.
Something, even if it doesn't jerk my tears, maybe it's also not just the last scene, but like the last last 9 minutes or something. I felt like something different needed to happen or something, you just have his death, then his near death, into film, into reconciliation, boom, 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 and it's like, I don't know. I feel like there needed to be another point.
Well,
in
maybe
that matrix.
maybe the realization of that scene was supposed to be that, and it actually didn't do it. You know, which is
I'm gonna.
yeah, I don't know. Good.
You have all you have the whole B plot about Nora like investigating his mother's torture and like what happened there, which that kind of fell flat for me also. Like it didn't feel like it culminated in anything. Like it's like, okay, we're giving context to why like she suffered and then she committed suicide, but like does that really lead to any realization on Nora's part that like ingratiates her more with her father? Doesn't really feel like it, besides maybe tempting her to suggest to her sister to play the part, right? But like it doesn't feel like there's like an emotional revelation that happens there.
Well, right. I mean, I think that just functionally plot wise, because I agree, it does feel like a certain detour that doesn't exactly bear emotional fruit overall. But I think, right, just functionally how it works is she goes and does this, then she reads the script, and then the point is like, oh, I've seen my mother, I understand all these things about the suicide or whatever, and I realize now reading the script that it's not about her, it's about you. Is like what it's like functionally supposed to be doing. Is like they needed the sister who's the closest to Nora, like, you know, between the father and Nora or something, as being the, you know, the third part in this triangle or whatever, to understand the mother or something in some way that Nora doesn't, for her to confirm that
Nora's the one. Sorry.
It's about Nora or something like that, right? But I don't know. But other than that, I do agree that it did feel like it was like supposed to be something more, and it didn't quite feel like it was giving you that.
Quick correction, then I have a different point. Nora is the sister that's doing the investigating, right?
Am I wrong?
I forget their names.
No, I thought Nora was the... Hold on.
Because Ella Fanwam meets her and is like, oh my god, you're Nora, or whatever.
No. Yeah, Nora is not the one that's investigating. Nora is the depressed one that ends up playing.
Okay, then I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So the other thing I was going to say
Agnes,
is the whole like...
who's named after the mother.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Sorry.
The other thing is like you have this whole house thing, you know what I mean? Which is like you have the narrator at the beginning talking about the house and how, you know, the house has seen many people, and like the house is its own sort of a symbol or like narrative device throughout the film, like how it changes. And you have all the flashbacks of like how it changes when the people who are in it like change or are going through something. And that just, I mean, that didn't really land for me personally. Like,
I got hit by that evil renovation jump scare.
Yeah.
Dude, when we saw the final renovation where they just millennialify the house, that was straight evil.
Sad.
Dude, that was crazy. Yeah.
I feel like maybe to Steven's point, they might imagine that as being like the real emotional climax of the thing, where it's like, it's over, it's gone, it's done.
The house though, like it takes up a fair amount of screen time, but like it doesn't really do anything. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that there's maybe some kind of more subtle things going on with the house, right? Because there's this insistence and importance about who owns the house, and it's like he wants to shoot the film in the home, and that's like a very important aspect of it, is to shoot it in the home. And then I don't know. I mean, maybe this is actually not that. Okay, maybe to your point, like I guess the conclusion of what I'm saying actually maybe serves that it wasn't actually as big of a thing, or it wasn't its own thing, but maybe just served the main thing in a way that doesn't feel as big as maybe it should have, based on how they opened with it. But like, right, they make this whole point about him owning the home and he needs to shoot it in the home, and then right, they recreate it instead, and the actual home gets renovated. So then it's like it focuses the essence of what's going on in the home, as in the beginning with the narrator, into the life that happens in the home. So it focuses it in on her. See, I don't know. Maybe there should have been more. Maybe there is more, and I'm just like not.
I have a small thing about the home. Is just like, I think
but-
when he's drunk and he's cleaning up after himself and on the table, right? He like wakes up hungover, right? And he's like cleaning up. Really small scenes, but there is a just obvious. It's super tiny. I know it's super tiny, but it's this sense of like when he cleans the house, he's cleaning like, you know, his soul / getting ready to keep going. I feel like there is just this constant sense of like where he's positioned in the home and what he's doing in the home, or like for instance on the patio when Elle Fanning shows up and like he's drunk, he has like the heart attack in front of the house. All these moments where he's sitting in a location, instead of just looking aesthetic and being cool in that spot, you know he's at the house. And by being at the house, there's just this like magnitude and aura and like dangerous, like this sense of impending issue going on. So I'm not saying that this like solves. Right? Yeah. So yeah. So I'm not saying that this like solves. This isn't like the perfect explanation, but it's just to say, because it's still, it's just to say like aesthetically how I feel about the house, if I look back, is inextricable from how I feel about him and his placement within the house in many of the scenes where I'm like, I can't subtract that ephemeral thing that was integral to the thing that wasn't even at hand, you know?
It just feels like the same thing in a lot of these movies where like they feel like they need to have some sort of visual metaphor to go along with the story, where like they can just show you the house, you know what I mean?
But I think
now
succeeded.
It's visual, now it's like deep, you know what I mean? It's like the house doesn't do anything.
No, the problem is I think they have sufficiently built up the house metaphor.
The shot of the house being built. Oh, like this is like.
No, they have. I think that they have successfully embedded the house such that by the time you get to the end, it is sufficiently like an amalgamation of so many different things and relationships, and it's sort of a mechanism by which multiple people communicate with each other in different ways, that it feels fairly, I don't know, like if you say, well, what's the point of it getting renovated but then transformed into a set, you know? Obviously, like the major on the nose thing is it's like, oh, it was real, now it's a set, it's illusory, whatever. But like at the house level, I feel like it does conjure feelings and ideas in me that aren't just basic and forced like in the other movies where like they haven't sufficiently borne out the metaphor. They just showed you an image and made a sound and it was like, oh, okay, this is bad.
I feel like it's the same thing though when you see the crack on the wall. It's just like, oh, the house is a crack. Like,
no
problem.
I think the
home.
way I think the way that the house limits the camera view, like what we just watched several of those shots, right? It feels like the house itself is watching the world, you know? Like it feels like there's certain kind of limitations being kind of established and that will be played with that feel warranted and like they're adhered to moving forward, you know? And also it gives a lot of weight, like when they're just walking throughout the house later on, I know they're walking through that house. There's a lot of like force to that setting. Whereas like if they were just walking and doing the scene in some other place, and I wouldn't know the whole time that they're in that house, you know? It just adds a kind of oomph and turns it into a character. Jerry Seinfeld, the main character of Seinfeld, is the apartment.
Like, there's also like plenty of scenes of conflict that take place outside of the house. You know what I mean? So like, if there's this idea that maybe
they come
the
back.
the house is like this, the house is where they come together. You know, it's where you know,
Their childhood happened.
where people clash, right? And where the family is
Where a movie gets made.
work through this
Slash
stuff.
not.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, that's not even. It's not even always the setting for those types of scenes. You know, you have plenty of scenes in people's apartments and stuff where there's the dad and a sister or all of them, and they're going over their trauma You know what I mean? So it just feels like the house is just this like tertiary visual metaphor that doesn't really add like much.
I do feel that it could have maybe done a little bit more, but I overall don't. I overall am happy with how it functioned and what it added to the film and how it changed certain aspects of it. You know, a la what Steven just said about all the, you know, I'm thinking about the home and its role and what it means, you know, as these other scenes take place. But yeah, I don't know. I maybe agree that maybe there could have been, it felt like because it's so at the front of it that maybe there could have been something where it's like, obviously there was a bookend with it, but it didn't quite feel like it was maybe cutting through everything and guiding the main thrust of whatever I was feeling. I don't know. I still am not. I don't know. I guess I don't feel actually negatively towards it at all, but maybe it could have been something more a little bit.
I feel like it's similar. The general complaint, which is fair, is similar to just the general idea of like, oh, it's about acting. Here we go again, which is to say it's on the nose, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work. Like, it's particularly bad when it's on the nose and doesn't work. But if it's on the nose and it does work, all I care about is that it works. And maybe there's a disagreement here about how much it works in this case versus how much it doesn't. But like in my mind, I think it works. But I can very readily see a scenario where a lot of similar stuff happens and a lot of like the house and all this stuff, and it doesn't work. In which case I'm like, oh, crack in the wall. Oh, whoa. Sure.
I mean, I just don't think it works that well. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, well, I came, and I remember her name is.
I like the house.
I don't know if it's Renate or whatever, but she's naked quite a bit in Worst Person in the World, and so that was nice for me when I watched this, because I got to remember.
Were both beautiful in a sort of
the sisters are so
beauty
beautiful.
kind of a sense.
Agnes is the other sister, the less focused sister, and she is so beautiful.
I can tell you, I will end up marrying, you know, the actor's sister. I will end up marrying a woman like that when I turn 37.
You're gonna marry Agnes?
One could only hope. Yeah. One could only hope.
Dude,
no, it's guaranteed. I already know that. It's already
a real battle axe
locked in because you're 37. So you're and you're getting married soon.
Yeah.
God bless Elle. I'm marrying Elle.
Back to our conversation about like
Elle.
casting and physicality being important. You know, the way that Elle looks compared to them is obviously critical and works so well. Like,
she's an angel.
Wait, we gotta. There's so many other good things to say about this film. Does anybody just want to rattle off what they got? Some good things to say. Brody's been a little bit quiet. I want to hear what Brody thinks about this movie, and then we got to get over to Marty Supreme.
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Let's get the. Did I like it?
You just say that. Did you like it or not?
Yes, I liked it.
Did you like it a lot?
And now that was the confusing part to me.
Now that's the question.
That's the question.
As I was like, did I like this a lot? And it sort of did feel almost like a little like, even the way that it looked fucking European. Something about it.
It looks so good, dude.
And I was like, no. But this is a good thing, you know. And and it really felt out of the school of European film.
Yeah.
And it almost felt so of the school of European film that it felt, in some sense, referential and more hollow compared to its original counterparts. And that maybe my feeling was that it wasn't actually progressing anything. It was just in the wake of something that once was great. and it ultimately was good and enjoyable, but will be ultimately forgotten and isn't worthwhile to hold space in the world.
It's just some canonical.
Honestly,
Yeah.
excellent take.
yeah.
Yeah, honestly, what's funny about that too, about like the European film thing, is that like it's like the people who've done it best are so fucking good that to even start to properly use the tools that were developed in a film like this and be used well is still, you know, pales in comparison to the best of the best, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and like, it is funny that maybe it actually is appropriate for this to be in the running against some of these other Oscar films, as some of the Oscar films are the culmination of some Hollywood in the school, so to speak, of, you know, Hollywood shit and what it's like turned out at this late hour, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then also just
One battle after another.
like last thing is like it was just like, dude, it caught me so off guard watching this movie because like I just had like a day where I was just like crushing movies and stuff, you know, and then this one was just next, and I was just totally thrown for a loop, like because I didn't read anything into it. I literally just Googled sentimental value, right? Boom, let it play, and then I just couldn't. I was like, oh shit, didn't think I was in for some Euro shit.
An actual movie.
For a real
Yeah.
movie.
Good
Yeah.
for something good.
Yeah.
I think I totally agree with Brody's take, though. I think the Brody's really onto something. I think he's right about the European and the reference thing. That it's like in reference to a lot of things. It's really difficult for it to escape that. It obviously thinks of itself as part of the genealogy with the like Godfather of Bergman, and it's now descending down the train of everything, you know. And there's probably debts to other people too, but it's so obviously paying a debt to Bergman. Yeah, sorry, we should talk about Marty. Never mind. I was like starting to give up wrapping up takes, but we should talk about Marty.
Well, I have a little. I mean, it's interesting you all say it
yeah.
feels so European. Little production trivia: the whole thing was shot in Europe.
Whoa.
In an IKEA.
Yeah.
The whole thing was-
They
I
even
will say
mentioned
that-
IKEA. They mentioned IKEA by name.
Yeah.
Furniture taste in this film is, I mean, the Scandinavians obviously do it best. It's fucked up how fucking awesome all these apartments and houses look in this movie. It pisses me off. There's some
It will be
expensive as hell
forgotten.
furniture in here.
Brody's comment about it being
Yeah.
forgotten is for sure true. It's gone. This movie's gone 15 years from now. No one's fucking watching it. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, to John's point, if you can make even 70% of a Bergman or a Hanukkah or whatever film, you are making such a great film, but it's not culturally invigorating and exciting the way a certain Marty Supreme is. And even if Marty Supreme isn't, in some sense, as good of a movie, whatever that means, it has so much juice in it that it's like, we're going to remember this. This mattered.
Yeah, is this
Yeah, it's
official
relevant.
segue?
Yeah, this is official segue. We were in Marty Supreme
Well,
land.
hold on,
Marty
last
Supreme
thought.
is okay.
Okay, go.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sentimental
Go, go, go,
value
go.
did look like a Moore. Kind of European. Brody right. All right, Marty's pretty.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Marty
Also,
Supreme.
by the way, a European hard cuts Hanukkah. Obviously, such a Giga Hanukkah fan. Joaquin
yeah.
Trier. Just, I mean, obviously,
the piano teacher's in the movie.
Yeah, yada yada
Piano
yada.
teacher in the
But
movie.
all these hard cuts, it was like I actually started to get a little bit annoyed because it was like, all right, I get it. You like your hard cuts, buddy. I get it. You know, I was getting.
I was
getting
not
like,
bothered at all. I think
was
it's
getting a
useful
little-
tech and anyone can use it.
I was getting a little bit. It's because everything else was so European. It was just a concatenation
Yeah,
of
that's
things,
fair.
but I still liked it a lot.
Okay, Marty Supreme.
Great opening,
this movie
opening
is-
sequence.
Yeah,
Why can't
fucking-
films just always do something like that? I don't fucking care if it's Tree of Life. I don't care if it's Marty Supreme. I don't care if it's Uncut Gems. I don't care what the fuck it is. Give me some fucking dope shit at the start.
I'm kind of a D1 hater. I didn't like it that much, but let's not.
The
like
movie or this
Movie or the
Intro sequence of the movie.
intro sequence.
Fuck
I like
you.
the movie.
I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you.
Marty Supreme.
I take it back.
was
I'm sorry.
awesome.
Yeah, Marty Supreme's fucking so good. I just there's I mean, I will say just on the
not
line
feel
of
bad.
a lot of the other things.
What? No,
we've
no, no,
said
no. It's
about
if
the
anything,
other
it's
films.
me that should feel bad, Steven.
Well, I just said I fucking hate you. I don't. Wait, are we going to talk about how he doesn't like the intro sequence? Can we talk about that a little bit? Let's settle in on Marty Supreme. Let's settle in.
I was gonna say something, but then we.
I know, but we were talking about intro.
Apologizing.
We were
That's
talking
like-
about intro
that's-
sequence.
No, are we
And now
gonna
you're
say
moving
something
on.
about it, or are we just gonna
Intro sequence. Let's talk about it.
literally saying something?
Can we talk about it? Intro sequence. Go.
Yeah, the intro.
Yeah,
sequence
well, it
is epic.
fits.
It's what the movie is about. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's the
obviously there's
uncut
more
gems.
than that to it. Can we say a little bit more?
Yeah, what do you, I mean, just, okay, it makes the movie cosmic. It takes the movie from this very grounded, like, play-by-play, boom, 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 that happens through the whole film and is the Safdie style. And like in Uncut Gems, it places a biological thing happening, you know, because, like, the colonoscopy in Uncut Gems, and in this, it's fertilization or whatever, and this is, like, it's taking this internal thing and placing it rightfully so in its place of being, you know, the ineffable space of what cannot be understood or conceived of, and placing the rest of the story on this cosmic scale. Go ahead, Jacob.
As well as providing.
That-
Oh, go ahead.
That is fundamentally my problem with it. It's again the show don't tell, like, oh look, this is cosmic, this is about everything, this is about life, with this CGI sequence, and you know, blah blah blah. That's my only thing.
I think
It's like it's like
fine.
and it's just a trend right now. This is a trend, all right. You have like the Northmen, all right. You get, oh, I'm having a vision of the tree of life and my son. Oh, like, isn't this about everything, right? It's like we are doing, okay, we're doing this, okay, let's get through it, and now we can stop with the 2020 cinema trends.
I think since time immemorial, is it immemorial or immemorial? Whatever. They all start with they all start with what the movie's going to be about. I agree that this is materially grounded in, you know, the current day and age, and especially in terms of the CGI and also the sort of intensity, on the nose, out there-ness, right? You know, look at some John Wayne movie, it does the same thing functionally, but it's just going to be way more grounded, way less obvious, and I can appreciate the matter of taste thing. But again, I think it's like, yes, it's on the nose, but does it work? And not necessarily in the moment, but does it make up for it? Does it prove it out? Does it reach the goal it sets for itself with such a strong intro where it's like, this is a good movie about life. What, you know, what's it about? How do we get there? Competition, chance, you know, all this shit.
I think it accomplishes it, right? I think it fulfills what it sets out to do. I was just making a comment about, like, do I aesthetically like the intro sequence? The answer is no. We can move on.
We can move on. Tree of Life has dinosaurs. Having CGI dinosaurs is generally insanely cringe, but if you can rise to that occasion and you can be like, holy shit, you're right,
No,
this is about dinosaurs,
So awesome,
then that's
dude.
fucking awesome.
It's so
Okay.
awesome.
I have a good thought tying in previous thoughts. Okay, sentimental value, the rotating, you know, lights with the faces and stuff. This is an example of a misplaced authorial hand, a moment to do something insane and play with the form where it doesn't need to be. I think that, I don't know, I think that something like this honestly does, and like the dinosaurs, it's like, I don't know, I respect the like recognition of, like, I'm gonna make something that's on this stage, and I'm actually going to try to make the thing that is on that stage, but it feels like it's grounded in an actual purpose and does not feel like masturbatory in the same way something like the end sequence in Babylon or something like that, you know, where like Damien Chazelle is like fucking whatever, fuck that guy. I don't know.
I think there is a question where, and we'll get to this more as we talk about Marty Supreme, which is, if you could conceive of an opening. So imagine they're making the next movie. Josh Safdie making his next movie, right? Whatever it is. And it's a good movie. And it lands and it's really good. And he does this kind of opening again, right? In terms of just picking a internal body cosmic elevation thing at the start. If he just keeps doing it, at what point do you get kind of dissatisfied? Is it only about whether or not it's working, or do you get dissatisfied with the sense that it's that easy to work, or it feels too programmatic, blueprinty? Like we say, I don't care as long as it works. It's like, wait a second. If AI made the best movie ever, I think I would hate it, because I would hate the fact that it's made by AI. Maybe not. I mean, that's a whole other can of worms. But in the sense where it's like, if it's so programmatic, what are we doing here? I don't know. Go on.
Well, yeah, I agree that there's an element where on the nose is one thing, does it work is another. And I think sentimental value is a case where I think it works, but I'm not excited about it because it's been shown to work. Like, you're doing something that is known to work. It's not, I don't want to say not new, but it's not exciting and it's not pushing.
Well, hold on.
Josh has done this so many times.
No. Hold on.
How many times? He's done
on.
it once.
Hold on. Okay, just
twice.
Troy.
When
Troy in Uncut Gems is the only other place he's done it.
Yeah.
Okay, but Troy,
that's true.
Your main point about sentimental value in The Faces was that it didn't need it, and that it actually hurt the point that it was making, even if it was making it well.
Yes.
Right? Versus, I think this provides a certain level of, like, this is like the scale that the movie is going to. This is how serious the movie is taking itself. And there's a little bit of, like,
yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. But we're just, so firstly, it's not even worth saying. It's so obvious. I like it. It's good. And it does this cosmic thing. But my point is, and this is with Josh Safdie in general, and it goes back to what Brody said about his first film with Benny, which was Daddy Longlegs, which is like just this general comment about, like, they can make you feel stressed. They're good at that. They can make you, like, you get invested in the money here, the money there. I need money now, money. And so, like, there's a plot, there's a sentiment and plot continuity through line across many of these films, okay, that they had made together, and then now this one, Josh himself, and Uncut Gems and this one share the formal similarity, among other formal similarities, but especially the intro sequence. The question is, to what degree are we hoping and going to evaluate someone like Josh Safdie moving forward off of a newness? How much, like, because what Jacob was mentioning and what I take seriously here is, like, 2020, this is 2020 core. Now, maybe it's been done in different ways or whatever, and it's not off limits for a director to use. But if the same director uses it multiple times, you start to wonder, like, what is their actual potential? What is their power level? Are they good at making a thing, or can they make anything that they set their mind to? It's like, how limited of a director are they? And so right now, as many incredibly good things I have to say about this movie and about Josh Safdie and all their movies, is I really am indexing and I'm afraid that he is a limited director. He is fundamentally limited and confined by a certain kind of movie he wants to make and can think in terms of. And now that's okay, because every director has their voice and style. Now, how much, and this is what I meant about a Cassavetes comment I made a long time ago, which is like, Killing of a Chinese Bookie for Cassavetes is really important because you get a different kind of story from a Cassavetes voice versus a husband's or a woman under the influence. These are kinds of movies. How different can the Safdie voice get? Like, what kinds of narratives can it actually tell correctly? And then how often can you implement this intro and tell that kind of story? And will he do it again? Just because it obviously elevates things to cosmic instantly. It's like, it's obviously based and cool, whatever, go on. Any responses?
Yes. Okay, one. Faces in sentimental value and versus this, just they perform radically different functions. And just for an example, if sentimental value opened with that face shot it would work 100 times better than at the end when it just undermines everything it's been accomplishing. 2, yes, Steven, I think it matters about newness. It matters when we're evaluating him, when we're thinking about like, right. I think part of what we're excited about when it comes to Josh is it feels like he is developing cinema. He's developing it. He's providing new, exciting mechanisms and also just like doing a great job making good stuff. If he does this again, I think there's a level of like let down a bit, but also, I mean, strictly technically, right, I think you can totally imagine subsequent films where he just always starts with the same opening visual representation, and yet the rest of the film is substantially different. And I think that this is a case of that, but it's not as substantial of a difference as we might like to see. But from Uncut Gems to Marty Supreme, I think we see a very substantial development in the positive direction. I think Uncut Gems is like so form heavy. It's so stressed. It's so, it's so obsessed with all its mechanisms and all these things, but it doesn't leave you. It's not exactly like the most, I don't know, it sounds trite, but like insightful or particularly like meaningful thing or whatever. Versus I think right, there's a lot of the same mechanisms, the money, the stress, the whatever, but I think it's played down a lot, and the real value of the story and of the ideas and of the sort of aspirational stuff is way more present, way more meaningful, and has an ending where I'm like, holy fuck, so true. Like, this was valuable to me. This was insightful, blah, blah, blah. Versus Uncut Gems, it ends and it's like, oh my God, that was so well made, but also like not much, maybe not a ton
Isn't that
else.
just a cynical thing though? Isn't that just because Uncut Gems is is just
it might just be
it is a tragedy versus this.
No,
is a comedy.
I don't think it's just that, but I think that is a more notable like you end up feeling way more positive in this, but I do think that this is just also way more effectively telling a meaningful story that is valuable and interesting and yada yada compared to Uncut Gems. But I will say it's not I would have liked to see a way bigger step into a whole new direction in space to show, right, like the perfect thing would be to see, oh my gosh, Josh is capable of anything, he, blah, blah, blah. Whereas this feels much more like an incremental step versus, a radical display of talent and insight.
Yeah. I want to get John's takes.
I do
on
think
this.
it's a step.
Yeah.
I want to get John's takes on this, but I do find something interesting really briefly, which is that it sounds like Troy does like this movie more than Uncut Gems. I was surprised to hear that.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's such a better movie than Uncut Gems.
No, I basically agree with the whole kind of development of film and style and these things that Steven said, as well as where Troy took it. I don't actually fully agree about Uncut Gems being... I think Uncut Gems, the more I've thought about it and the more times I've watched it, I think that it's like... It's maybe a little more one track with what Howard wants, in that film. But ultimately, it is about an incredibly similar thing. It's just not tied to as many other different things. This is almost like a more, funnily enough, by bringing all these other characters and stuff and having these ideas of like believing something and then proving it right, and having that have friction with the world. It's a very similar story to Uncut Gems. But I don't know. I mean, I think that there is something really kind of still kind of... the more I've watched Uncut Gems, the less I feel kind of completely third person when watching like Howard, and just like, oh, I'm just watching a guy and how crazy this is. It's like, you really do realize that it's like, no. He believed in a thing, which was this fucking stupid thing of making this bet, and he was actually right and he proved it or whatever. Now, obviously, that that contains all these more like magical elements or something than something like Marty Supreme, where it's like more grounded and a little more like literally applicable to your own aspirations and things. But I don't know, but yeah, I basically agree with like the sentiment that it's like I do want a bigger step on the next film, but I also don't want to. I mean, everything we've said is kind of up to this point has been fairly critical of like the film and talking about the future and what it means for him and those work going forwards. I would be more interested in talking more about like, you know, things we thought were good and, you know, thematic interests and relevance and that kind of thing, you know. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts.
So watching the movie, I guess I'm just going to do a little transition, right? I think we all might have had a similar experience. Thanks, Troy. Where it's like I'm kind of not on Marty's side for like a large portion of this film, right? Like you are not exactly rooting for him for a large portion of the movie because he keeps, you know, he's a pathological liar, right? He's just constantly fucking people over and, you know, he's not very likable, I will say, right? However, I think that the climax and the conclusion totally flipped this around for me. And I thought it was very beautiful. And, you know, as he sort of comes to terms with everything and starts being honest with himself and is able to become a, you know, a more humble kind of a person, you know what I mean? And accept his like life, you know? I thought that was good, and it made me enjoy the movie a lot.
I do think that it is important though, right? That like, so I've seen the movie twice, and I feel like on second viewing, because I agreed on first viewing, I felt pretty similarly, and then on second viewing, I feel like knowing where it was going to go and stuff, I felt really, I felt way more sympathetic to his position, and like, you know, I don't know, he has this like dream and he achieves it, and I feel like I felt that and cared about it way more, because the thing is something that's not necessarily super clear on first viewing because it's so focused on him is like the fact that he is representative of like many characters in this film, and he's just willing to do everything it takes to get what his like dream is or whatever. But right, you have like Odessa Zion's character, you know, the love interest or whatever, she Troy's attempting to pause it so we can see Timothy's penis when he falls through the ceiling in the hotel.
Well, no, I have a comment
incredibly
about
distracting.
I have a comment about his penis, but I'll stop. I'm sorry.
Okay, but so Odessa Zion, right? She is exactly the same as Marty's character. Like, she wants this thing and will achieve and do absolutely everything in her power to achieve it and fuck everyone over, including him. And right, like when she has the black eye and then she like cries and wipes it away, and he wipes away her, and then like he gets like pissed at her for lying to him. That's an important moment in realizing that like, oh, you're, even though in the moment he doesn't express it this way, but it's like, oh, you are the same about being with me as I am, and like having this child with me as I am about my dream. And it kind of like proves that she's like, you know, the same as he is in wanting this thing and doing anything in her power to get it. And that's like what ultimately kind of proves her love for him or whatever. And you know, and then like Gwyneth Paltrow's character is like also the same thing, but then she's like, you know, ultimately she does care about the stage that she achieves the dream that she wants, and it's why she's like attracted to Marty and all this stuff, because she recognizes the same like drive and all this stuff, and she recognizes the same drive and the same desire to do anything to achieve the thing that she wants. But what she wants ends up being she's indexed too heavily into the audience or whatever, and this like contrasts like Marty's arc as being like, you know, I'll win this on the stage and no one will know about it or care or give a fuck. And it's like, it's not about, you know, the fame or all this stuff. It's about just me getting the, you know, having that game with the guy or whatever, you know? So I don't know. I feel like, I don't remember why I started saying all this, but yeah, I don't know.
You're on his side on second viewing. You're more on his side instantly.
Yeah. I'm more on his side. I'm more on his side from the very get-go, and I believe I'm the first viewing. I spent it being skeptical and having to be convinced of his dream until he achieves it, and then there's also the baby and all this stuff. And then the second viewing, I was fully convinced of both the validity of his dream and then the secondary thing, which is like, you know, Odessa Zion's character's dream of like having the child with him and his like realization of buying into that dream by seeing the child, and, you know, now it can be his dream, you know, or something like that. I don't know. So I feel like I don't know. There's all the dreams are valid.
A lot of dreams. I think very important point that his dream is of this sort of grand, top of the world dominance and power of the table tennis, right? Like the loftiness of his dream being sort of equal to and comparable to her dream of being with him and this baby is a beautiful, beautiful thing. But unlike John, it only took me one viewing to be on Marty's side, and boy was I.
Hold on.
And then I lastly want to say that
you're a fucking idiot. Fuck you.
I am friends with a person who works for the VFX company that made Chalamet's fake penis for this scene, which obviously you don't really see his penis in the movie, but I think that he was wearing a prosthetic, right, for the filming, and then maybe or maybe not it was going to be in it. And he was unhappy with the prosthetic and requested that it be made larger.
What the fuck? Who?
I can't say.
You have to tell us all.
I'll tell after.
Troy, you're a fucking idiot.
That's fucking real.
That's insane.
Anyway,
I need to know more about that.
That's fucking awesome.
That is great.
It's literally me.
That's a cinematographer logically first here, folks.
that is
Yeah,
that might be an industry that you might have
industry
heard of
breaking news. After all of this slander,
that could be an article. I'm sure they would love to make articles about
ballet
that.
and opera. Apparently.
Oh yeah, I thought that. You know what?
I don't know
we
if we're
should
gonna
talk
talk about
that
that,
too.
but he's obviously just right. And
Right.
Fuck everyone. So whatever.
Well, you know, he's obviously right, but the tone is not proper.
Correct.
But
Approve.
tone is
Condone.
based. Condone.
Ne pas
Also-
se dire sur son désir. Anybody know what that means?
Is that no?
That's
What
Ne,
does that mean?
ne pas se dire sur son désir. Anybody know
What does
what
that
that
mean?
means?
What does
That's
that
really
mean?
interesting.
It means do not give grounds on your desires. And that is what every fucking goddamn Safdie film is about. It is every single time you're going to be given a character, and I love him. I love this. This isn't a diss.
Is
at all.
this is that
This is Lacan.
Hebrew? Oh,
It's French.
French. Hebrew? Like what the fuck?
That's good. No.
Is this like a Jewish thing or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just so I don't know. I like Uncut Gems more than Marty Supreme, even though I like Marty Supreme a lot. I think it's for some reason I would just slightly rank it a higher but better movie. I think Marty Supreme is fighting an uphill battle because it is just a bigger movie and it has to deal with things like just like kind of like it's just a lot of scenes where I'm like, these are fine, they're okay, but they're not actually like that. They only make sense in kind of this interstitial what do we do next kind of thing. Like, I don't know, a lot of the scenes with Tyler the Creator were like, I don't know, man. Like, I get it. It's like, it's plot relevant, but it's not that, who fucking cares? Whereas every
That's fair.
fucking scene in Uncut Gems, every fucking scene is insane. You pick any scene, it is extremely cataclysmically important. Every fucking scene, it's insane. There's a lot in here where it's like, I don't know, it's like kind of important, but kind of not. We're just moving on. Come on, let's get it going.
Well, but totally
there's some other
agree.
reasons
But
too,
Uncut
but go on.
Gems, it's like everything is so logistically extremely important. I agree that Uncut Gems is like
No,
super,
but even
super
the family,
tight in
the family
comparison.
and stuff, the family. I mean, the family stuff in this is
that's
good,
fair, that's fair.
but my point is like even the things that are not logistically important resonate at a level of a higher frequency for better wavelength aliens, whereas this is for weaker aliens that like a lot of the scenes that are not logistically that important. It's like super low wave, like chill, bro. Come on, so whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Uncut Gems is a constant 10.
So
Penn Jillette was a good choice.
This was a jump scare for me.
but the true. But the overall insane thing is just it is crazy the amount of flack it's getting as a film and the amount of middling reception it received by a lot of people watching it and basically just not liking Marty and thinking that it's a very male coded film.
Oh, so wrong.
It's just really depressing because it just shows that they don't understand what desires are. They don't understand desire. They don't understand Odessa's desire at all. They just don't even believe in it. They don't believe it.
Ultimately, this is something Steven and I talked about. What's funny about the film is there's a lot of people criticizing it for being like this male-centric, I'm supposed to like this guy who fucks everyone over in his life to achieve something that feels kind of like aggrandizing and blah, blah. But ultimately, the game that he plays and wins is ultimately extremely humiliating and is the end of his career. And the girl gets exactly what she desired and wanted in life. And it's like, and he accepts that and is happy with it, and it's like
he doesn't cry at the win, he cries at the baby.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, so it is kind of funny. It's like all these people criticizing it for being like this male centric thing when actually it's like, it actually very intentionally undercuts everything that would be, the kind of vacuous noise that, someone would be pursuing, kind of in sort of almost like a, kind of like manosphere, like pursuing of status or something like that. It completely undercuts that, and then it's laid bare, and all he's left with is an extremely personal win that only means something for him and no one else. And so it's like, I don't know. It does make you feel bad about just like fucking how people can't read. I don't know, just have like zero like film literacy or like narrative literacy or or even give like, I don't know, whatever, are just like kind of certain behaviors or things instantly fall inside a very particular, very well established, very contemporary cyclical category, as opposed to being something characters can't exceed boundaries.
They hate their mothers.
That was the thing that made the ending like actually land and be nice, was the fact that he is humbled and he's sort of made to accept this, I guess, lesser win, you could say, by playing the Japanese guy in the show match or whatever. Like he still gets what he wants, but his dream has to be, it has to be kind of negotiated, you know what I mean? A little bit. Like he doesn't, like, because in his mind at the beginning of the film, achieving his dream does mean the fame and the fortune and the power,
the Wheaties
and all
box.
that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it is through
ping pong balls.
It is through the constant like bullshit that he has to deal with, where he is able to negotiate with his dream and still achieve it, although not achieve this like otherworldly like I'm gonna be a cowboy astronaut kind of a dream. You know what I mean? And like that's what makes it, for me, like that's what makes it like actually touching, is like if you just saw him win the big match or whatever, it would be like your classic American like feel good movie, right? But it's the fact that he has to actually like grapple with the fact that he can't really have it, but he can change his mindset, right, and get the win for himself, but in like a more humble way that like really delivers it.
I have a slight. I think a lot of this is true, but I had a different experience. My feeling is that he actually gets exactly what he wanted. When, like, anytime he is telling someone about the Wheaties on the box, blah, blah, blah stuff, it feels that almost every single time that's happening, he is basically not lying, but he is doing that to get money to get there.
To get there, sure.
Like, when is he ever in any situation, like, every time he's trying to pitch himself to someone, it's because he's trying to get something from them. And there's almost no example of him expressing the desire to be sort of, like, he wants to be the best, right? He wants to beat the guy, is my sort of thesis here. And that all the money and fame and Wheaties box and etc., whenever we hear him espousing those desires, it is actually just to get something from someone. And so in the end, he actually does get exactly what he wanted the whole time, which was to know that he was the best in the world. The only time that he, I think, debatably expresses these ideas in a way that you're like, oh, he really means it, is when he's talking to Odessa and he's like, look, I don't know, like, I'm meant for a different life. I'm not going to be fucking stuck with, you in this shit. I don't know. I'm not, I'm special. I'm different. I'm going to be this big thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's like a knockdown because, like,
I
he is
know,
the
I
special
think
thing. He is the best in the world. He
Well, I
wins.
think I think what it is he is realizing what he actually wants throughout the film.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
It's not that he's lying about being the
Yeah.
Wheaties box guy. It's that he has deluded himself. He has deceived himself into thinking that that's what he wants when that's not actually what he wants.
Well, I think maybe at the kernel of it is like maybe he knows that he wants to be the best, and it's more about clarifying what that actually means for him. So it's like I think it's kind of a little bit of a combo of the two, where it's not. I think he does know what he wants, but it's just attached to all of these other things that he thinks are maybe a part of it, because of course that's a part of it, because being the best means playing at this level and getting paid a lot, and and so I think that, like, I think there's a truth to the fact that it's like, oh yeah, he's trying to get what he wants when he's talking to people and saying all these things, but I don't think it's conscious. I think there's like an kind of the film sort of slowly, as things get worse and worse with being able to even do the thing that he wants, he's being slowly stripped those kind of things that are being unconsciously attached to that desire are as being an essential component of are slowly being ripped out of it until he's left with only just the bare essential thing, which is the core of it or whatever, which obviously the culmination of that is obviously like Kevin O'Leary like spanking him, right? Like it's like it's like that is like, at the very end, that's all the way stripping him of absolutely anything, besides just beating the fucking guy.
And then the pig thing is kind of like this testament where it's like, it's a final decision making thing. I mean, he's already made the choice in his head to some degree, although I guess he's kind of negotiating the decision in real time in the last ping pong sequence, right? Or just beforehand. But that is a moment where he's like, okay, is the essence of what you care about being the champion / making money, being famous, playing ping pong? Or is the essence, proving to the world that you can beat this guy, that you are good, and that you can do it here in Japan, on his home turf or whatever. And there's like, and in a real match. And so he opts for that being the essence of his thing rather than being the champion / whatever. Not that, it's not guaranteed that by kissing the pig or whatever it was going to be, he would have been, he was still not going to be able to play in the upcoming tournament, right? He still hadn't been granted admission to that tournament, I believe. But you can imagine, and the viewer, I think, is supposed to intuit that, like, the decision at hand is like more career in ping pong or a final test proving yourself right. Ping pong isn't even the essential thing anymore. It's this other thing. It's like the true essence, which is like just proving yourself type shit.
Yeah. Well,
It's like it
I
happens
think,
to be ping pong, but it's like proving yourself, fucking getting your shit right, you know,
yeah, I think
in front of the world.
I think along those lines, what ultimately kind of makes this film, in a way that a lot of these other films we've talked about that are up for the best picture are, like relevant and important for right now, is that there's like, and you see this in how people kind of react to the film, both, you know, many people being very inspired and feeling very strongly about how good it was, and also people reacting against it, and the way they're reacting against it is kind of, there's the kind of essential component of the film is this stripping down and the importance of, like, if you take like everything away,
Yeah.
what matters is
what's the
just
desire?
what's the desire, what do you actually want, and saying that has value, period.
Yeah.
You know, and that has value, period, you know, against literally the entire world in this case, right? It's like the entire, everything about his life is coming at him.
Fucked.
And
Fuck his dude.
yeah, it's so bad, and it's like if this film makes you believe that it still matters for him to do this ping pong thing, and that game matters and is meaningful, it's like ultimately that is like everything, and is something that I think people generally you know, don't that doesn't get a lot of, everything gets kind of squeezed through, I don't know, all kinds of filters about like qualifying what matters and stuff, when ultimately it's something that's kind of ineffable, and is something that people don't really allow themselves to do or feel or have, or something like that.
Yeah, I really like this idea of, like, I know it's pretty surface level, it's pretty obvious, but I feel like it's the first time I've really actually tried to care about the film in this way, where it's like this stripping down, like thinking about it this way. And I really do like the idea that you have a guy you have a sport movie of a character getting stripped down, having to figure out what really matters. What do you actually give a fuck about? What he gives a fuck about isn't even that clear by the very end. What does he want to show? He wants to show that he can beat the guy he lost to a year ago. It's like, it's almost like it becomes this kind of like loose, ephemeral goal of like, in a good way. I don't even mean this as a slight, but it's like you kind of lose sight of what the fuck what is that desire? It becomes materialless, you know, it loses any sort of material fixing anymore, because winning the show match was never his like goal. And even beating that guy in a show match once was never like, just proving he could do it. I mean, maybe that was his goal from the very beginning. That wasn't his goal when he was in the shoe shop, though. You know, like his goal wasn't to beat Enzo once. You know, go on, Jacob.
Well, I mean, that's just where this whole thing comes in, where like he's constantly having to like negotiate with his desire to figure out where, like, what he actually wants to achieve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, because he's constantly beaten down throughout the whole movie, he is able to quote unquote settle for beating this guy one time, right? But that comes to represent him overcoming like all these obstacles that he's faced. You know what I mean? That like, in spite of all this, he can triumph. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do like it a lot, and I think I just wanted to say one more time this whole idea, but I first off, Josh wins. Benny's movie is okay. Maybe I'm a little bit more sympathetic than other members of the pod, but Josh wins, obviously, hands down.
In the competition between the brothers, if that's not clear.
Yeah, Benny Safdie versus Josh Safdie, both made a sport movie.
Wait,
Josh Safdie's is better than Benny's.
Has anyone seen Benny's?
Yeah, I've seen
Yes,
it.
I've seen it.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well,
But I
check
was,
it out.
well, I was, that's what I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have two. Oh, sorry. I didn't interrupt.
No, the last thing is just something I already said before, but I know I started off with this attack. I'm scared for this director. I'm scared for Josh. I'm scared that he can't get out of this. I'm really scared. If you look at Uncut Gems to this, you see a small increment. Fair enough. I'll buy into that. Okay.
Holocaust Honey.
Holocaust Honey. I love Holocaust Honey. It's a great thing.
What is Holocaust Honey?
That's the guy who's let himself get sucked off to feed all the people. It was the one-off in the movie in Marty Supreme.
His
There's a
friend
one-off
who's a
joke.
Holocaust survivor. He lets all of his.
Oh yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, I love that. I loved
That
it.
was
I
so
thought it was
good.
sick.
New. That's new.
Yeah, that was sick.
That was-
yeah, I thought it was
that was
sick.
a very new formal element introduced.
It was sick.
Not
It was
present
sick.
in other films.
It also seemed like it played into this like self-aware, like Jewish, what is my identity as Jewish thing going on though. Both in in a complicated way where it's like we can make our own jokes, whatever. In this contemporary moment. Anyways, no, I think if you watch Daddy Longlegs and then you watch, there's like one feature length in between that I've not seen. It's the drug movie. I forget what it's called.
It's called Heaven Knows What, and I will say it is definitely. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts because it is different.
It's different.
So I'll certainly watch it. So with me not seeing that, take a grain of salt. If you go from Daddy Longlegs to Marty Supreme, I'm fucking pissed at how few steps have been made. I love Josh Safdie. I love Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme's sick. I'm not actually going to diss them that hard. But in terms of this like arc of a creator's, just looking like seeing him as a value, like trying to evaluate his creativity, whatever that fucking is. He's not that creative based off of this trajectory. And it gets me worried for the future. So he needs to do more than a small increment next, or else I'm already positioning to sell my Safdie stocks, even though there's tons of value to get out of them because they have refined and they've done a thing so well. They've really done it well. But where we're going after this, I don't know. We'll see.
The only person alive truly developing cinema is too much of a fucking alcoholic Parkinson's fuck to be making any more movies. Okay, I'm going to watch this movie again soon, and I will flag it. So this is sort of sad and annoying to say, but I think that there is a very small moment in this movie where Josh is explicitly commenting on Benny / whatever has gone on there.
Oh, really?
But I can't remember the moment, but I remember watching it and being like, oh my God, that was so clear. But I can't remember. I'm about to rewatch it pretty soon, so I will note it down. But so that's one thing. I don't know. I think it's not being explored enough. The baby and how this is like the happiest moment ever for him. And
not explored enough by us, or what are you saying?
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels, but.
It is late. This call has been gone on for 5.5 hours, and this recording is
so beast
4.5 hours. After we just had a
We've done a good job, though.
We might do a 2-part for this one. We'll see.
Considering the number of films we've covered, 4.5 is pretty impressive.
So so first of all, I would just like to this is a formal announcement that we will be sending an award out to the people who win the Cinematographologically Speaking award show. So when we are now establishing our best pick for 2025, we will now be at some point most coveted award in cinema. Okay?
I see. Yes.
So currently, best picture winners, best picture nominees, what are you going to give it to? And who do you think is actually going to win? John first.
Whoa. Okay. So, wait. Sorry. So it's.
Who are you going to give it to? Who do you think's actually going to win?
So we're just doing the number one.
Well, who are you giving the award to? And then also tell us what you think the Oscars are going to go to.
I think Best Picture. I don't know, dude. I think it's Marty is the best. I think it's Marty and Sentimental Value. It's just like impossible.
Yeah, can we have 2 runner-ups?
Compare the two, but I feel like Sentimental Value is runner-up. and I don't.
Now, who's actually going to win? Which one's actually
Yeah,
going to win?
I'll give one runner-up, which is a sentimental value. I think who's actually gonna win, dude? I don't know. With all the like very obvious like anti-Marty campaigning, because I felt like it was obviously
Dude,
gonna be
so
Marty
much.
Supreme before.
Dude,
it's
it's
like
crazy.
so fucking insane.
Even the
how
Timothy
much,
shit right now. The
oh
Timothy
my
shit
god,
is anti.
dude! The comments on those posts are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It shows how vapid everyone's actual investment in anything. It's just all about kind of like some kind of cult of personality thing. It has nothing to do with what they actually make, you know. But I don't know, dude. Honestly, I think it's either One Battle or Sinners is gonna win it.
Agree.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't have spoiled that fast.
Okay.
No, it's one battle.
going.
One battle is winning Best Picture.
Hold on.
Keep going.
Hold on.
Wait
So,
your turn.
so now, yeah, wait your
Brody is
fucking turn.
mediating.
We're going.
So next one is Steven.
Next one's Steven. I'm giving it to, it's unironically really difficult between Sentimental and Marty. Marty was good. I really liked Marty. I mean, I guess I'll say Marty, and Sentimental's running up. Another running up is The Stranger. Or, sorry, the Secret Agent. If we care, but it's not a
Can
big
I
deal.
throw that in? I'll throw that in.
Yeah.
Secret Agent is my runner-up as well.
And then who's gonna win? No, I don't think it's gonna be One Battle After Another. I don't think it's good enough, and I think it'll be, dude. Oh my god, I think it's either gonna be Sinners or Hamnet.
Hamnet might be the sleeper option, honestly.
Me next. I'm putting in Marty very tentatively. I feel like 5 years from now, when I fucking hate Josh Safdie, and he's like the devil to me, like I'm gonna look back on Marty and think to myself, you know what, this was actually the beginning and the end, and maybe this actually secretly sucked. And then runner-up is Sentimental Value, and then after that, with a pretty significant gap, it is going to be Secret Agent. What's actually going to win is One Battle After Another. If I put in my entire life savings on One Battle After Another winning Best Picture, I wouldn't even be that uncomfortable about it. That's how sure I am.
Damn.
All right, condone, agree.
Okay.
Yes, Jacob next.
Marty's my number one pick. Like many of us here, I think just it was the most solid film, the one I enjoyed the most. As a runner-up for what I would give the cinematographically speaking Best Picture award to, it's kind of hard. I might have to join the Sentimental Value bandwagon, even though I did dog it. I like, in terms of what is the Best Picture overall, I think that it is a good candidate compared to all the rest of this slop. So I might just agree with that. What I think is going to win, I do think One Battle has a pretty good shot, especially considering the current climate. Okay. Just taking that all into account, because of its subject matter. Sinners, obviously, same sort of reason, famously, people complain about films sort of getting snubbed for, reasons. And let's see, is there anything else?
Can I add something?
I don't think. Okay, I will say
your thoughts,
I don't think Hamnet will win, because I feel like it's just too kind of like niche feeling for that. Like I think that it's going to go to something that's more mass market commercial, like One Battle or Sinners.
Jesse Buckley's gonna get some kind of an award, that's for sure.
I want to modify mine, if possible, to Marty Supreme or Sinners. And
You think Marty might win?
yeah, there's a chance.
I think it's
I think there's a chance. And I also want to just mention to Sinners, just about Sinners for everybody as they make their predictions. Sinners, Michael B. Jordan won the SAG Award for Best Leading Actor out of many of these same films. and it also won Best Ensemble, a SAG award. And that to me was a sign that this movie is winning awards, baby. You better get ready for this movie to win a lot of awards. If it doesn't win Best Picture, it's going to win a lot of Academy Awards. I don't know what else it's nominated for.
Well, it broke
but I
the
assume
record
it's
for
going
most
to.
nominations.
Okay.
For most Oscar
and
nominations.
also the right, Michael B. Jordan got the best actor or whatever thing, and the like correlation between that and best actor for the Oscars and also best picture is pretty high, because it's the same, like the overlap in the Academy is a lot.
Yeah. That's what I figured is the overlap.
That also officially does it. I just want to say, so the first annual cinematographologically speaking award. I know I asked you about Troy.
I didn't go.
I know, but you're already out. You already been out.
Troy's
What
I know.
the fuck are you talking about?
Troy's out. Go on,
No,
Brody.
I got all sorts of shit to say.
Go on, Brody, please.
Go ahead.
Please go on, Brody.
First off,
No, go on,
shout
Brody.
out Abel
Please go on,
Ferrara.
Brody. Wait, Brody.
Number 2.
Yeah, so true.
Brody, go on.
No, I've got good stuff, man.
Go ahead, Troy.
Shout out Abel Ferrara.
Also,
Okay, shout out Abel Ferrara.
Good.
Shout out Abel
Go on,
Ferrara.
Brody.
Okay. Obviously, Martyr Supreme is the best movie in the list. Then you got runner-up, Sentimental Value. Then you've got a big gap. Then you've got One Battle After Another, Hamnet, F1, and then bottom tier, Begonia, Train Dreams. I didn't watch the other 3. Secretly in that A group / B group, aka third place, is Eddington. Should have been on the list.
I was gonna say that.
I agree,
I was waiting. For
Yeah,
him
well,
to
I did say it.
Eddington. All right, fine. You get that
I'm
one. You
saying
get that one. 'cause you
I said it.
first.
I said it.
But you're
really
right,
it's
earlier in
been
the pod.
said, yeah.
doesn't matter.
Brody
I said it. I said it
and
like
it's been
3.
said.
I said
Yeah,
3.5
so-
hours
And
ago.
there's
Okay, so
nothing
once
special
again,
about you saying that.
Troy
If-
has contributed nothing to this podcast.
I've contributed everything. If Rap World had been released in 2025, that would also be
So
probably on par with One Battle, if not a little higher. Okay. Secondly, what's going to actually win? One Battle After Another. Brody is the truest guy in the universe. I would bet my life on it. In fact, I did. One Battle After Another is going to win. Sinners is going to win best cinematography, best music, best ensemble cast, best fucking everything else. Okay. Hamnet, I think has no shot of winning best picture, but Jesse Buckley might win some. You know,
that's true. That's
cried
right.
on
That's
screen
right.
the longest
That is
award.
right. That's right. That's right.
Win the crying on screen the longest,
F1
in the most realistic way award.
F1 will win best editing.
Yeah, probably.
And
So-
and Sinners will get best original screenplay, all that type of shit. Frankenstein will win best set design.
Frankenstein will
For
fucking
best
blow my cock. I hate Frankenstein.
best
Fuck
foreign
this
film, best foreign film. It's between Sentimental Value and the movie that won Palme d'Or. Nobody saw the fucking movie that won Palme d'Or. It's going to be Sentimental Value.
Wait. You don't think? I think if we're talking about the foreign film, I think it. Wait. Is the one that won the Palme? Wait, what is the one that won Palme d'Or?
The one that won Palme d'Or is called "It Was Just an Accident."
Oh, okay. Never mind. Yeah, of
It's
course.
like the
Okay.
Iranian.
For a second, I thought that it was.
Why are they so good at making movies?
That's so real.
Yeah, we need to be more on the Iranian cinema shit.
I want to watch this movie.
I feel like there's some
very
more. I feel
good.
like there's a lot of. I mean, I feel like Kiarostami's the only person I'm actually familiar with, and obviously his shit is all flames.
So I would just like to give. So this is to you, Josh Safdie, for congratulations for winning the very first annual cinematographologically
annual.
speaking Best Picture award. I'm going to, if anybody else is interested, I'm also going to run up my just the ranking list 1, 2, 3, 4 of my favorites. If anybody else wants to go, you can go right after. Mine goes Marty Supreme's Sentimental Value, Secret Agent, F1, Frankenstein, Begonia, Train Dreams, One Battle After Another, Sinners, in that order.
Wow. Train Dreams over One Battle.
Dude, something I did not say about Train Dreams. Whatever. I could talk for fucking an hour about how I don't know. Whatever. I happened to have read the book like a few months before the trailer came out, and I cannot understand how you could fucking read that book and come out with that movie and just. I don't know. It's like they just completely they left out anything that would have been good in filmic form. Fuck that movie, dude.
Mine in terms of order of enjoyment, and I think there's a gap. Wait, can someone go back to the movie so I can see all of them? I'm missing two. Otherwise, I have it all. Oh, yeah. Okay. It goes Marty, Sentimental Value, Secret, Agent, F1, One Battle After Another, Sinners, surprisingly, Hamnet. This is all enjoyment, right? This is just enjoyment or something.
Whatever.
Somehow we can disentangle them.
Whatever.
Frankenstein at the very bottom, and Train Dreams, and I think that's everything. Train Dreams and Frankenstein are both really bad. I'm putting them right next to each other. Could not enjoy.
Could not enjoy.
DNE. Did not enjoy.
DNE.
Did not enjoy.
Does anybody else want to do a full-fledged ranking?
Okay, very quick. Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, Secret
You're
Agent.
fucked. You're fucked. You're fucked. You can't think. You can't think.
One
you can't think at all.
One Battle, Frankenstein. Hamnet's probably in there somewhere. I don't know anymore. Oh, fuck, F1. Oh, God. I only am so sure about the bottom. The bottom is Begonia and then Train Dreams. Sinners is like, yeah, I don't know. It's all right, but it's worse than most of them.
All right.
I'll go.
All right. Go ahead, Jacob.
It's just like my letterboxd rating. It's all, they're all threes.
Marty, Frankenstein, F1, Hamnet, Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Begonia, Train Dreams.
Okay.
Wow.
To wrap us up, does anybody have any guesses? How is the Oscars going to make a media buzz this time? Is Will Smith going to tackle somebody this time? Or are they going to do Are they going to do a secret?
They're going to
reveal?
call for peace. No, there's going to be a very calm and call for peace one.
Okay.
Where they're just going to talk about peace.
That's been the trend for the past few award shows.
Okay, calling for
In
peace.
the Oscars, 5,000 years from now, is going to have a section called Mistakes We've Made, and they'll talk about how Marty Supreme was totally fucking snubbed.
So true. It actually is Kino there to imagine mistakes we made.
I will say, yeah, that's so
Kino,
awesome.
Actually, everyone would love it.
There is
It would do
something.
well.
There is something to be said about, maybe Marty Supreme being, potentially winning because of the, all the campaigning against it or whatever.
Yeah, it'd be counter. Yeah, it'd be.
It's like
getting
I've
attention.
never seen that before. And the fact that it is happening is because maybe it's too powerful to be suppressed. So
It's also important to know that Honora won the last one. And so what the fuck people choose is a little bit fucky here. So, I say Sinners, we say One Battle After. You don't need a fucking big political movie to fucking win an Oscar. All right, Honora won. Okay,
Honora won the Palme d'Or,
Nothing
too.
Burger. As a Nothing Burger, whatever film,
I will say also, as far as Oscars go, can we just say that despite a lot of these movies not being very good, this is certainly a more I can make sense of this lineup more than I have been able to for the past who knows how many years of Oscar lineups.
I see. There's a logic to it.
Yeah, there's a logic to it, and I actually enjoyed probably more of them than I ever would have with the other lists.
Like 2020,
average Oscar year
was fucked.
Yeah, average Oscars for the
terrible.
past 15 years, they're basically all pure dog shit. This is definitely a stronger year, even if that only means that I would actually say I like two of the movies. Although I didn't see Secret Agent. I bet Secret Agent, I would say I liked it.
I think I only liked 3 of the movies. I think every single other one I really did not want to finish, but did.
Yeah, I would say 2 for me. 2.
So, I don't know. Maybe that's an overstatement. One after the other, it's not like I didn't want to finish it, but I didn't like it.
2 or 3 out of 10, that's a pretty strong year.
No, I don't know. I'm not excited, but I believe what you guys are saying.
Well, I mean, it's a strong year, relatively speaking, for the state of movies at large. It's incredibly depressing, and we should all be sad about the fact that fucking.
I don't know, Honora Brutalist Conclave. Those are probably all right. No,
Dude.
Honora, I liked Honora. Not loved it, but I thought it was
I
nice.
liked it. Not yeah, same.
What's this?
She was like,
What is
fine.
this? Complete Unknown. Who
Brutalist,
fucking cares?
I bet
Conclave.
it's fine.
Who
No,
cares?
Complete
Dune.
Unknown's okay.
No,
Isn't it okay?
Complete
No,
Unknown.
I've seen
could
it.
fit on
I'm
this
telling you,
list.
who cares?
No, I bet.
Meaning
My
could be
point
on
is that
Well,
this
obviously,
list,
who
what you're
cares,
saying,
but-
this year is better than the year we're on right now.
Whoa, wait.
No, I think the year. No,
That's
I'm
my-
saying
that's
I think the
that's
year
my
we're
impression
on.
instantly.
You
looking
think
at these movie
2025 was
titles.
better than 2026?
Yeah, looking at these instantly, I feel
That's
that
crazy.
way. Yeah, I have four
No.
movies here that I think are all actually kind of good.
Dune, sick, obviously.
Dude,
Whatever
Dune,
this is.
Conclave, Honora, fucking Complete Unknown. These are
Okay.
all fine.
All right, fine. You're right.
The Brutalist is kind of fine.
Wicked
The
was so
Brutalist
bad.
is like super okay. Is
Yeah.
what it is. It's
Was
like
that
anyone see this
mega
movie?
extremely okay.
Did anyone see this one? I forget
What
what
is
it's
that
called.
one?
It's
I didn't see
the
it.
when it was the
You
foreign.
don't even know what it is.
It was the foreign film. I'm still here. Yeah, people
Yeah,
really like
no.
this.
I don't know.
All right, viewers. Thank you for
yeah.
listening
I
to
have to
this
shit so
entire
bad.
thing.
Thanks for listening to the whole
Boys.
thing.
Do we do
Everyone
two parts?
of it.
Do we split this into
Nickel
two
boys.
parts?
We'll
and
discuss.
you post them.
We could discuss that later.
Yeah,
Discuss
after
this
you
in
stop.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you everyone for
Yeah.
listening. This has been the.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you.
you
This
have
has
it.
been
I
the
love
you.
2026
Any
Oscars
complaints,
please watch more of our
cinematography
stuff.
speaking.
If you have any complaints about the audio,
Please keep it
please direct it your hate towards Troy.
Yes. I'm sorry. My computer crashed. It's a little out of my control, but
Listen,
you know.
how about this? For every comment that gets left on this video, I guarantee you we'll do one more podcast.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
For
pretty
every
good.
comment,
Yeah,
And if you tell us what movie to watch, we'll do it. I don't
Dude,
fucking care what it
please
is.
For
comment-
every
Legal,
comment
I'll
left
do
on
it.
this video, please
coming
direct
back.
hate towards Troy.
please comment.
Listen, this
your
is the start of a
Venmo
comeback of this
below,
pod.
and
We're
I'll give
doing
you
one
$5.
pod per hour. 2026 pod per hour challenge.
Yeah, pod per day, pod per hour.
Pod,
We're so dedicated that we did multiple pods in this pod.
yeah.
Yeah, we did. I mean,
That's
10
6.5.
movies. That's pretty impressive. I'm very happy that
We did it.
only 3 of us watched all the movies. So
We're releasing this in 10 parts.
Listen, next year
Yeah,
we should nut up and do what we did here, but for the Palme d'Or candidates.
I'm down, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, that'd be cool.
We would definitely end up watching more interesting, probably better movies.
That's for sure.
Okay, well,
Bye.
viewers,
All right.
goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye.